Everyone. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. Hello, Shubh. Hello, Aman. Okay, so I think I'm visible. Forward. Today I'm going to be discussing a very interesting topic that is environmental issues, which falls under the unit of ecology and environment. In environmental issues, basically, we are going to be discussing about pollution along with global warming. So, okay, thank you so much. These two issues, basically pollution along with global warming. So these two issues have become a major concern for our country, not only our country, for the entire world. And these are the things that have to be dealt with in future, and we need to learn to maintain a balance. So this is the significance of learning this chapter. And along with this, another benefit for you all is that this is the most easiest chapter. You just need to like just your general knowledge along with some understanding of concepts will make you absolutely clear in this chapter, and you can score maximum marks. So let me start by introducing myself. So I'm Janani Saptharishi, and I'm going to be teaching all the class 12 students who are appearing for their NEET UG exams, and I'll be teaching them the subject of biology. So yes. So let me introduce you with what you will get from a subscription from Unacademy. Unacademy is launching its new feature, that is iconic subscription. What will you get? What is new, and what all can you avail from it? In the subscription, you will get a personal mentor. Okay, so there will be a person who will guide you according to your strength, weakness, and align your learning strategies. You will have live doubt clearing sessions. So all your doubts, these sessions will be customized, and each of your doubts will get solved. And we will make to it that you make progress so that you can crack your desired examination. You will have a parent connect. That means your progress will be constantly discussed with your parent. All right, and so that we can self evaluate and see where you're in the race, and you will get all the benefits of plus. So what is the plus subscription? So the plus subscription with an academy will give you daily live classes. तो ये जो क्लासेस होते हैं डेली बेसिस होते हैं, where you can ask doubts. It is very interactive. Poll sessions are conducted. Okay, then there is live test and quizzes. So this is again very integral for your self evaluation. You will have structured courses, and we offer you full complete syllabus coverage. So if you're using my code, that is Janani, you will not only avail the contents of biology, you will avail the contents of all the subjects that is required to crack your examination of interest. So you can prepare for any entrance examination. So suppose you're preparing for your NEET, all the contents of physics, chemistry, biology will be available. And you will get unlimited access to all this content. So one subscription will gain you unlimited access to all the contents. You will have daily live classes, and you will be on board with the top educators of India. So you can sit back at your comfort, your ease, and you can make the most out of this time. And we offer you a very, very comprehensive syllabus. All you have to do is go and install the Unacademy learning application, and you need to get the subscription. So once you've got the subscription, if you want to talk to us directly, you can find the link in the description box below of the Telegram application, and you can connect with us directly. What is the basic difference between getting a plus subscription and an iconic one? So, both of them will give you the benefit or that you will be on board with the top educators of India. They will offer you interactive live classes, which will be very, very interesting, and it will be very beneficial. Both of them will have live tests and quizzes that is in for self-evaluation, and you will have a creative corner as well. And in case of the iconic, you will get a touch of a personal mentor who will guide you. You will have live doubt solving sessions so you can clear all your doubts. You will have a parental connect, and you will have a study planner which will help you to strategize better and help you to crack the examination. So now coming to the time duration and the fee. So this is the various time durations of the courses, and the fee ranges from it is basically for 3 months it is 6,500, but I recommend you the most the 12-month plan. Why? Because to crack an examination like NEET, you'll at least need 12 months in hand, and moreover, this is the most economic plan. So 12 months you will avail it in just 15,000 rupees. And another interesting thing is, if you will use my code, that is Janani, so if you use this code, you can avail an extra 10% off on all these courses. So now your 12-month plan is just for 13,500 rupees. And now coming to the iconic subscription. So this is again the 12-month plan is very economical. It is for 28,000 rupees. And when you use my code, that is my name, Janani, now your revised fee will be 25,200 rupees. So let's get started finally with today's topic. We are going to be discussing about environmental issues, and I will be starting with pollution. So what do I mean by pollution? So basically, who is causing the pollution and what is causing pollution is caused by humans. All right, and what is leading to it? The development of human beings, the advances we are going with, the pace we are moving in the 21st century is basically the main root cause of the pollution. Fine. Now, there is a heavy demand. So basically, we all depend on natural resources. So now the population is growing, and the natural resources is limited. All right. So what are we? We are just racing towards our basic rights, that is food, water, clothing, home. All right. And there is much more commodities that is needed by a man. So there is always a heavy demand for all these natural resources so that we can survive. And yes, so this picture shows that basically how we are fighting for our everyday rights for our natural resource, that is water, be it shelter, okay, and even transport, okay. So now, how do we resolve this? So to meet the demand of the man is extremely tremendous, and on especially on the basis of natural resources, and this is a basic cause of your environmental pollution, because we are exploiting the natural resources we have. So what are the types of environmental pollution? You'll have air, water, land. You'll even have sound pollution, thermal pollution. We'll discuss about it in detail. So what do I mean by the term pollution? तो ये इसका definition भी है, ठीक है? Even for your subjective, this is as per NCERT only. So for your subjectives as well as objective, this part should be in your tips. So pollution is any undesirable change. Okay. So we do not desire this change, and this is a harmful one. Therefore, we call it as undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristic of the environment. ये undesirable change कहाँ हो रहा है? ये हो रहा है हमारे environment, and it can be either physical or a chemical one or a biological one. And what causes it, या ये क्यों cause हो रहा है? ये कोई भी natural cause या mainly human activities से cause होता है. Fine. So now, any deviation from the natural composition of the environment which causes adverse effect is also described as pollution. तो जैसे ही जो हमारा नेचर है वो अपने नेचुरल एलिमेंट से थोड़ा सा डिविएट हो, या और मीन्स इट विल स्टार्ट डिप्लीटिंग और गेटिंग degraded, that will cause adverse effects on the human life, and that is your pollution. So what are the agents, or what is basically causing the pollution? तो जो भी एजेंट्स पोल्यूशन कॉज करते हैं, या कोई भी वो चीज जो पोल्यूशन कॉज करता उसे हम pollutants कहते हैं. Alright, so there you have to know the difference between what is pollution and what is pollutants. So pollutants are basically those elements that is causing or leading to pollution, depending on the type of environment that is affected. So now again we classify uh, this pollution into what type of environment is it affecting. Is it the air? Is it your water? Etc. So it can be divided into air pollution, water pollution, and sound pollution. There is also, and soil pollution. There is also sound pollution, but that is basically it does not fall under the criteria of the environment. Okay, so hence we are not dealing with it. So air pollution se start करते हैं. So earth, basically you will all be knowing it, earth consists of an atmosphere. That means it consists of an envelope which is comprised of various gases. So this is your atmosphere. So this is basically, it acts as a thick blanket for your earth and it is the thermal insulator. यानी कि ये earth को extreme like heat या इससे protect करता है. So now what is happening that this atmosphere is basically getting degraded. ठीक है. Ozone layer के बारे में सब आपने सुना ही होगा. So what is happening? Our cold regions or the glaciers and all have started melting. This is again a type of pollution. So, this atmosphere is our thermal insulator and it regulates the temperature of the earth by selectively absorbing UV rays. So, ye UV rays is harmful to us and we do not require the entire concentration of the UV rays. We only require a part of it. तो ये selectively absorption का काम कौन करता है? This is performed by atmosphere. Fine. So, what might be the composition of the main gases in air? So, composition यानी कि हमारे जो air है, whatever is the surrounding, the entire air, किन gases से comprised है? We might always only talk about oxygen, but oxygen is just 20.94 or basically 21%. बाकी का जो 78% maximum होता है, that is nitrogen, followed by argon, and then you have your carbon dioxide, that is 0.03. So this composition is again important not only for your objective but also your subjective. And life cannot exist on earth without oxygen. This is a known fact. So air pollutant, basically what they will cause injury to all the natural and or living organisms. Fine. So we'll now they reduce the growth and the yield of crops. ये इसका एक effect है. ये crops को directly बहुत affect करता है, and crops affect हुआ तो it will basically affect us because crops is the basic need or the basic whatever we depend on the food uh, indirectly we depend on the entire food on the basis of the crops, and they are harmful to the respiratory system of the humans and the animals. तो एयर पोल्यूशन सबसे ज्यादा ह्यूमंस को कैसे अफेक्ट करता है? दे अफेक्ट द रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम. ऑलराइट. सो it may cause sinus. Alright. It will affect your lungs, will affect your nasal cavity. तो ये एक respiratory system के अलग अलग parts है. तो इन सब चीज़ों को ये mainly affect करता है. So increase in the concentration of pollution or duration of exposure increases the harmful effects on the organism. So how is the effects increased? तो दो तरीके से हो सकता है. या तो concentration of pollutants increase हो गया, जैसे कि अभी दिल्ली में हुआ. What is happening during this year? The concentration of pollutants in the air becomes very very polluted. Or it can be that you are exposed or you work in such an environment that you are in constant exposure to pollution. So this can be the two reasons. The major air pollutants, yeah. So the major air pollutants, basically it will be the incomplete combustion of the fossil fuels produces. So incomplete combustion matlab when it is not properly burnt. So these fossils need to be burnt in a very proper manner, else they will lead to air pollution. Fine. Hi Kush, welcome. Yes, Kush, a lot of things to Shubh, a lot of things to remember. सो नाउ कमिंग टू कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड। तो जैसे कि मैंने कहा था कि अगर इनकम्प्लीट कंबशन यानी कि किसी फॉसिल्स को सही से बर्न नहीं किया हो तो वो क्या प्रोड्यूस करता है, कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड। एंड वी ह्यूमंस और एनी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स इज नॉट वेरी फ्रेंडली टू कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड एंड वी आर वेरी मच ससेप्टेबल टू कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड पॉइजनिंग। ठीक है। तो uh, now, another very major cause is your automobiles. Okay, so automobiles is the major cause of your carbon monoxide pollution in large cities, all the metropolitan cities, and even the exhaust fumes from factories, emissions from power plants, forest fires, even burning of fire or wood will contribute to the carbon monoxide pollution. So since this carbon monoxide is poisonous to us, so and what all basically all the automobiles factories, all your even burning of the firewood, everything is leading to carbon monoxide pollution. And why is it very harmful or poisonous? Because hemoglobin has a greater affinity towards carbon monoxide. So what happens that it will interfere in your oxygen transport. अगर हेमोग्लोबिन को बेसिकली क्या ऑक्सीजन के साथ बाइंड होना चाहिए तब जाके हम प्रॉपर रेस्पिरेशन कैरी आउट कर पाएंगे। बट अगर कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड अवेलेबल हो तो हेमोग्लोबिन ऑक्सीजन से ज्यादा कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड को प्रेफर करता है। तो अब जब अगर हेमोग्लोबिन कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड के साथ बाइंड हो गया, तो अब क्या होगा, ऑक्सीजन के साथ बाइंड होने की एफिनिटी क्या हुई, कम हो गई। सो नाउ दैट एंड हमारी बॉडी ऑक्सीजन पे ही फंक्शन करती है, सो ना कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड इज वेरी पॉइजनस टू अस। इसके क्या क्या सिम्टम्स है या कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड पॉइजनिंग से ह्यूमन बॉडी में कैसे कैसे इफेक्ट्स आ सकते हैं। इट कैन लीड टू सिवियर हेडेक, ब्लर्ड विजन एट लोअर कॉन्सेंट्रेशंस। तो अगर लो कॉन्सेंट्रेशन में हो तो इट विल, यू विल हैव अ हेडेक, यू विल हैव अनईजीनेस एंड इट विल आल्सो लीड टू ब्लर्ड विजन। विजन को ये थोड़ा ब्लर कर देता है। ठीक है ना। इन हायर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन अगर जो कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड पॉइजनिंग बोलते हैं, इट विल कंप्लीटली कट ऑफ द ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई। देन व्हाट इज हैपन, ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई कट हो गई तो बॉडी को सर्वाइव करना मुश्किल है। सो इट विल लीड टू डेथ और द कंडीशन ऑफ कोमा। Now coming to air pollutants. Carbon dioxide is also air pollutant. ठीक है। Carbon dioxide is basically the main component that is leading to global warming. Okay, you need to remember this term that सबसे ज्यादा कौन सा element global warming cause कर रहा है, that is your carbon dioxide. ठीक है। Fine. Uh, Plants utilize carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is used in many of the biological processes, and plants utilize them for photosynthesis to respire, and all living organisms emit carbon dioxide in the process of respiration. And ये carbon dioxide को कौन absorb करता है, plants. तो अब क्या हो रहा है कि humans बढ़ रहे हैं and we are keep on we keep on cutting the trees. So now plants की quantity कम हो जा रही है तो ये carbon dioxide absorb करने के लिए उतने plants है ही नहीं. Alright, so that is leading to global warming. So with rapid urbanization, what is happening? Automobile, airplanes, factories, power plants, and all the activity is increasing. Okay, now so what happens that other human activities, what happens, the burning of fossil fuels, there is such as gasoline. This is also another very integral part or what contributes to a large amount of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is turning out to be an important pollutant for concern because every sector is emitting carbon dioxide, and due to rapid development we are cutting down trees also. Now, another one is your sulfur dioxide, that is SO2. Again, burning of fossil fuels produce the sulfur dioxide, and melting of sulfur ores is another industrial process which also contributes to SO2 pollution. Alright, so what do I mean? That sulfur ores का मतलब क्या होता है कि जब भी हमें किसी सल्फर की जरूरत होती है तो what we do, we take out the ore. That means from the earth itself we take out the ore from it, and what do? We start melting it. तो इस process of melting में जब हम उसे जलाते हैं तो there is a lot of SO2, that means sulfur dioxide, that is released in the environment. ठीक है? So now sulfur dioxide and oxide together causes something called as acid rain. ठीक है? ये acid rain is again very very uh, unfriendly to us. It is causing a lot of damage to the trees and also to the monuments. ठीक है? तो ये इसके कॉज कौन से आपको ये याद रखना है. एसिड रेन इज ड्यू टू SO2 along with नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड. ये दोनों मेनली कॉज करते हैं एसिड रेन. सो नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड इसमें क्या क्या आता है? NO2, NO, NO3 एंड N2O. फाइन. सो व्हाट ऑल इफेक्ट्स हैव एसिड रेन? एसिड रेन जो है वो क्या करता है? सॉइल को एसिडिक बना देगा. एनी क्रॉप्स, प्लांट्स को ग्रो करने के लिए सॉइल का एक पर्टिकुलर पीएच होना चाहिए, यानी कि एक पर्टिकुलर एसिडिटी या बेसिसिटी की जरूरत हो. तो अब जब एसिड रेन हो रहा है, सो ऑल दीज एसिडिक कंपोनेंट्स, जब रेन होता है तो मैक्सिमम सारे डिपॉजिट जो होता है वो सॉइल पे होता है. तो सारे ये एसिडिक कंपोनेंट सॉइल में आ गए. ठीक है? सो नाउ योर सॉइल हैज टर्न एसिडिक. अब यहाँ पे जो भी क्रॉप ग्रो होगा उसका पीएच तो ऑल्टर हो चुका है. सो नाउ ऑल दिस सो नाउ ऑल दीज क्रॉप्स विल गेट अफेक्टेड. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले क्रॉप को इफेक्ट जरूर करता है. देन अगेन योर मरीन लाइफ. ठीक है? अब ये जो फिशेस है दे आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग अफेक्टेड विथ सो मच ऑफ एसिड डिपॉजिट इज देयर. so now your water का भी pH change हो रहा है. so it is very difficult for the fishes or any of the marine environment species to survive. Now, what this is called? This is called as acidification of lakes and streams. And you have corrosion of buildings and monuments. Even the yellowing of Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is basically a pure white, but due to acid rain deposit, what is it getting? There is corrosion happenings to all the rocks and all of the stones that is जो जिससे वो मॉन्यूमेंट बना है. तो वो क्या हो रहा है? वो करोड हो रहा है. करोजन किसकी वजह से होता है? एसिड एलिमेंट्स. ये एसिड एलिमेंट्स कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? आपके एसिड रेन से. So, high concentrations of sulfur dioxide, that is SO2, can result in breathing problems in asthmatic children and adults. So, एक बहुत air pollution से सबसे ज़्यादा जो बीमारी होती है, that is asthma, that is your breathing problem. So, SO2 again is the main cause of asthma. So, other effects associated with long-term exposure in lungs, defenses, and aggravation of existing cardiovascular problems. So, in turn, it can even lead to some problems that are related to your heart, that is, your cardiovascular problems. अब बढ़ते हैं आगे. तो अभी ये SO2 के कंट्रोल के लिए हम क्या करते हैं? टू कंट्रोल SO2. तो जब ये एलिमिनेट होता है किसी भी फैक्ट्री से, वी ट्राई टू फिल्टर इट आउट. ठीक है? हम फिल्टर्स यूज करते हैं ताकि जो एनवायरनमेंट में जो SO2 जा रहा है वो काफी कम अमाउंट में हो. एंड दैट इज डन थ्रू समथिंग कॉल्ड एज स्क्रबर्स. यू नीड टू रिमेंबर दिस टर्म, स्क्रबर्स. ठीक है? So this are your scrubbers. So what are scrubbers? They are basically devices that is used to clean the impurities in the exhaust gases. Clean the impurities. यहाँ पे impurity क्या है हमारा? SO2. तो अब ये स्क्रबर क्या करेगा कि SO2 को बाहर निकाल लेगा. दैट मीन्स SO2 जो है ये स्क्रबर में रह जाएगा एंड बाकी की जो एयर है वो एनवायरमेंट में रिलीज हो जाएगी. तो SO2 स्क्रबर में रह गया. सो वी हैव नाउ प्रिवेंटेड that SO2 is not going out in the environment directly. Now, coming to nitrogen oxides, how do they affect us? तो ये मेनली नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड जो एमिट होते हैं ये सब हमारे व्हीकल्स यानी कि ऑटोमोबाइल से एमिट. राइट? So the air pollution by nitrogen oxides, it's not only harmful, but it also results in acid rains. ठीक है? Yeah. And it is basically a main element for the photochemical smog. Smog is basically your smoke plus your air. ठीक है, जो सुबह सुबह में fog दिखना चाहिए, that is your dewy air, but in turn we can see smoke mixed with it. So that is your photochemical smog. ये क्यों होता है? ये होता है vehicles की heavy pollutions. ठीक है. So now नाइट्रिक एसिड एंड सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड बनती है. कैसे? हम एसिड रेन क्यों कहते हैं? बिकॉज NO2, ठीक है, रेन में वाटर तो है ही, ठीक है, NO2 प्लस H2O क्या बनाती है? हमारी नाइट्रिक एसिड, यानी HNO3 बना देगा. ठीक है, एंड SO2 प्लस वाटर ये कंबाइन, मतलब सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड एंड नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड, ये क्या बना देगा? H2SO4. ठीक है, तो नाइट्रिक एसिड एंड सल्फर एसिड ये कॉज करती है हमारी एसिड रेन, right? And also it will acid rain eventually will also cause photochemical smog. So this you can see कि leaf कैसे acid rain की वजह से, due to the acidic condition, this leaf could not take it up, and how it has oxidized or burnt, a slight burn is caused, and how these leaves are damaged. तो इसलिए ये हमारे जो मेनली क्रॉप्स है उन सबको बहुत अफेक्ट करता है. So the effect of nitrogen oxides on plants will include the occurrence of necrotic spots on the surface of the leaves. तो ये जो spots जो आते हैं इनको क्या कहते हैं? Necrotic spots. Necrotic basically means what is deadly. All right. So now photochemical smog क्या है? मैंने पहले भी एक दो बार ये टर्म यूज किया, बट व्हाट डज इट एग्जैक्टली मीन? सो फोटोकेमिकल स्मॉग इज अ टाइप ऑफ एयर पोल्यूशन. ठीक है, एयर पोल्यूशन का ही टाइप है. एंड कैसे कॉज हो रहा है? इट इज कॉज्ड बाय रिएक्शंस बिटवीन सनलाइट एंड पोल्यूशन सच एज हाइड्रोकार्बन्स एंड नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड. जो कहाँ से आता है? जो मेनली आता है हमारे ऑटोमोबाइल से. ठीक है, ये दोनों ही चीजें जो है हमारी ऑटोमोबाइल से सबसे ज्यादा एमिट होती है, हाइड्रोकार्बन एंड नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड. एंड फोटोकेमिकल स्मॉग can be extremely harmful because it will lead to irritations of your respiratory tract, and also it affects your eyes. All right. Tiny particles of solid matter suspended in gases or liquid constitutes, it's called as the particulate matter. Particulate matter मतलब क्या कि अगर एक गैस या सॉलिड सब्सटेंस में हल्के हल्के सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स भी हो, सस्पेंडेड हो, यानी कि थोड़े बहुत सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स रह जाए, तो उसे हम एक पर्टिकुलेट मैटर कहते हैं. ठीक है. सो उसको एरोजॉल्स भी कहा जाता है. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस कि अगर एयर में कोई ऐसे like when you go to a construction site, what happens that those cement particles or mud particles उस air में present होते हैं. So when you start breathing that air continuously, after a time it will cause irritation to your respiratory tract. तो वो जो होती है वो air ही बहुत dusty होती है. ठीक है, तो हम उन particles जो present होते हैं उस air में, उसे क्या कहते हैं? We call them as aerosols. So aerosols refers to the particles and the gas together. ठीक है, एंड वो पर्टिकुलर जो डस्ट है उस एयर में, उससे हम पर्टिकुलेट मैटर कहते हैं. जो किस फॉर्म में होते हैं? इट इज इन अ डिस्पर्स्ड फॉर्म. सो combustion of fossil fuels यानी कि पेट्रोल, डीजल, fly ash produced in thermal plants, forest fires, cement factories, asbestos, basically सारे factory mining activity. ठीक है, manufacturing unit and everything leads to the suspension of particulate matter, which in turn will lead to air pollution. So now, according to Yes. So according to the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, इसका full form आपका आना चाहिए Central Pollution Control Board. The particles of 2.5 micrometer or less in diameter are highly harmful and other air breathing organisms. कौन से particles harmful होते हैं? 2.5 micrometer or less, not more. 2.5 micrometer or less. They are very much harmful to man and also the other living organisms. So now electrostatic precipitate, ठीक है, इसे यूज किया जाता है कैसे? बेसिकली ये एक फिल्टर है. ये फिल्टर यानी कि ये उन पर्टिकुलेट मैटर्स को सेपरेट आउट करने में हेल्प कर, ठीक है. एंड हाउ फॉर रिमूविंग द पर्टिकुलेट मैटर फ्रॉम द एग्जॉस्ट ऑफ थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स, कहाँ यूज किया जाता है, थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स में. It removes 99% of the particulate matter. So you can see that through this what is happening, यहाँ पे combustion होती है, ठीक है, then there is a steam generator. तो इससे क्या होता है कि जो भी जब ये प्रेसिपिटेट में जाता है तो जो क्लीन गैस वो प्रेसिपिटेट आउट, जो सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स है वो प्रेसिपिटेट आउट हो जाती है. यहाँ पे देखो वो इकट्ठा हो जाता है, जो भी सॉलिड पर्टिकुलेट मैटर्स है जो हमें एयर में रिलीज नहीं करना. एंड जो क्लीन गैशियस एयर है वो इस वेंट्स के थ्रू बाहर एनवायरनमेंट में रिलीज हो जाएगी. सो दैट इज हाउ इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक प्रेसिपिटेटर वर्क्स. So how does it basically function? It has high voltage electrodes, and it produces a corona that releases all the electrons. Okay? So now these electrons attach to dust particles, making them negatively charged. So अब ये जो dust particles हैं वो सब negatively charged है, and they are collected which are attracted by charged particles. तो अब ये जो है ये सारे particles जो है इनमें negative charge है, ठीक है. तो अब क्या होता है, ये जो collect यहाँ पे जो हो रहा है they will have a opposite charge. तो क्या होता है, ये सारे dust particles यहाँ पे attract हो रहे हैं and it basically gets collected so that we cannot eliminate it out. The air flowing between the plates is kept in low velocity so that to allow the dust particles to fall. तो अब एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि एयर यहाँ पे जो है उनकी वेलोसिटी लो क्यों रखी जाती है, बिकॉज लो वेलोसिटी में क्या होगा, डस्ट जो है अच्छे से नीचे प्रेसिपिटेट होने का उनको टाइम मिलेगा. एंड ये जो रिलीज हो रहा है that is your clean air that is released in the environment. So this is basically one of the measure to control air pollution. So now how we can control air pollution, ये तो factories में use किया जाता है. Now we cannot attach it to every automobile. तो automobiles के लिए हम कैसे air pollution को control करते हैं. So you require a proper maintenance for automobiles. PUC कराते हैं हम, pollution under control. Another thing is fitting of catalytic converters. Automobiles के case में क्या है, you have your catalytic converters. What happens here? To fitting catalytic converters to the automobiles having expensive metals, namely platinum, palladium, and rhodium as catalyst, which reduces the elimination of poisonous gases. तो ये कैटालिटिक कन्वर्टर किन से बना होता है, प्लैटिनम, पैलेडियम एंड रोडियम. ये तीन एक्सपेंसिव मेटल से बना होता है एंड दिस बेसिकली इन reduces your um, reduces your air pollution. Now coming to noise pollution. So, in India, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act came into force in 1981. ये आपको एक चीज है जो याद रखनी, ठीक है. In 18 बेसिकली वो एक्ट आया 1981 में, बट 1987 में इसको अमेंड किया गया, यानी कि एक और चीज इंक्लूड कि noise is also in air. Okay, so noise will also come under air pollution. So please remember this, that according to this act of 1987 noise pollution को भी हमने basically air के अंदर include कर दिया. So, undesirably high sound constitutes of noise pollution. And sound किस basis पे measure किया जाता है? They are measured in decibels. dB होती है इनकी unit. ठीक है? Again, you need to remember. So, human here कितने sound तक sensitive है? 0 to 180 decibel तक humans sound सुन सकते हैं. And 0 dB is the threshold limit of hearing. तो at least कोई भी साउंड सुनाई अगर हमें दे रही है तो वो 0 dB तक तो होनी ही चाहिए. एंड 120 बेसिकली 180 तक हम सुन सकते हैं, बट 180 dB इज गिवन एज द थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट फॉर सेंसेशन ऑफ पेन इन ईयर. दैट मीन्स इफ इट exceeds 120 decibels, that means you will have pain or discomfort in that you can face in your ear. So any noise above 120 decibels is concluded as a noise pollution. A brief exposure to extremely high sound level by 150 decibel or more is generated by jet planes while taking off may damage eardrums causing permanent or impairment. So इसकी इतनी हाई होती है ये डेसिबल्स की कभी कभी it may lead to deafening. ठीक है. Now, even long-term exposure to a relatively lower level of noise of cities may also cause hearing and impairment. ठीक है. Noise also causes auditory fatigue, यानी कि hearing loss, anxiety, sleeplessness, insomnia, and increased heartbeat. Altered breathing pattern, thus causing considerable stress to humans. So, what is happening कि ये हमारे हार्ट बीट को भी इंक्रीज कर सकता है. तो हार्ट बीट इंक्रीज होने से क्या होता है, वी हैव अ ऑल्टर्ड ब्रीदिंग, दैट मीन्स नॉट अ प्रॉपर ब्रीदिंग. तो ब्रीदिंग पैटर्न डिस्टर्ब हुआ, एंजाइटी लेवल्स बढ़े, ये सब इन टर्न क्या लीड करता है, दिस लीड्स टू अ टर्म कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रेस. सो नाउ again coming to the air pollution, and now we are seeing a very interesting case study. So coming to the capital of India, that is Delhi. Still now we are facing a lot of air pollution problem in capital city of India, and this is a issue of that needs to be amended as quickly as possible. All right. So, what is happening there? So, Delhi, not only as the national capital, but also in its level of air pollution, it leads in the level of air pollution. So, air pollution problem in Delhi reached such a serious stage that a public interest litigation, a court case, was filed in the Supreme Court of India. ठीक है. तो ये सारी चीजें जानना बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि प्रेजेंट में ये सिचुएशन हो रहा है. ठीक है. सो द एंटायर फ्लीट ऑफ पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट बसेस वाज स्विच्ड ओवर टू यूज सीएनजी. तो वहां पे जितने भी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट थे सबको सीएनजी में चेंज किया गया. सीएनजी इज अ मच इको फ्रेंडली ऑप्शन. ये इंस्टेड ऑफ डीजल बाय द एंड ऑफ 2002. 2002 में ही हमने स्टेप ले लिया था, बट स्टिल इन 2020 we are facing the same problem again. We are using CNG in Delhi still. Now, CNG is cheaper than petrol or diesel and it is the most efficient fuel. तो advantages of CNG पूछे तो ये याद रखना कि क्या क्या है. And it burns completely and very little is left unburnt. तो जब unburnt part कम हो रहा है, like I mean the waste is less, तो release भी environment में कम होगा, तो it becomes eco-friendly. Under the directions of the apex court, the government took various measures to control air pollution. What all did the government do? So, simultaneously, parallel steps were taken, such as passing out of old vehicles using unleaded, low sulfur petrol. ठीक है, ये सब implement किया गया, and diesel using catalytic converters in vehicles. We just discussed what are catalytic converters. Now, application of stringent pollution level norms was imposed, especially on vehicles. The odd even rule was imposed. All right. This efforts paid well, and the air quality of Delhi has significantly improved. But this is an old PPT; it is not improved in now in the scenario of 2020. So, the government of India, through a new auto fuel policy, had laid out a roadmap to cut down vehicular pollution in Indian city. ठीक है. Auto fuel policy ये आपका वापस याद रखना है. Now, uh, now automatic hydrocarbons are limited to 42% of the concerned fuel. ठीक है. Now, more stringent norms for fuels are specified to steadily reduce the sulfur and the content of aromatics at 350 ppm. ठीक है. 350 ppm में हमें restrict करना जरूरी है in case of diesel, and in case of petrol we need to do it as 150 parts per billion. Hi Sumiran, Cooking with Sumin, how are you? Now, the goal according to the roadmap is to reduce sulfur to 50 ppm. ठीक है, तो अब हमें सल्फर कितने में reduce करना है? 50 ppm in petrol. ठीक है, ये हमारा goal है. And diesel, we have to bring it out to the aromatic hydrocarbon level to 35%. And corresponding engines of vehicles are also to be upgraded. तो ये सब goal state किया गया. The Bharat Stage 3 is equivalent to Euro 3 norms. So is currently in place in many cities. Bharat Stage 3 कहाँ implement किया गया? Many cities such as Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Pune, Surat, Kanpur, and Agra. So all your metropolitans along with this. Thank you, Kush. Now, all automobiles in this major city should meet with the Euro 4 norms by April 1, 2010. We are still talking about many the past only. That is, according to NCRT, it is updated only till 2010. Fine. Now coming to water pollution. Water pollution again air के बाद जो सबसे abundant है वो है water. ठीक है? And water pollution has become a major cause because it affects not only human but also the marine environment. ठीक है? So, ancient civilization they flourished along the bank of rivers. We used to worship these rivers. Still, we do. So, primitive life evolved in water only. The main bodies of organisms contain water to the extent nearly 90% of their body weight. ठीक है? Seawater constitutes 97% of the water available, but we cannot use seawater for our daily uses. And fresh water, what is mainly used by us, is only we have 3%. Inferior quality of water is caused by pollution of natural waters is a major problem the world is facing. Water pollution and its control. We'll be discussing it now. So, uh, it is posing a serious threat to developing countries like India, of course, is not an exception. Many water bodies in general and almost all the rivers in India are grossly polluted either by sewage or the discharge of industrial effluents. तो यहाँ के pollutants क्या क्या हुए? Sewage and your industrial effluent. अब water pollution में सबसे ज़्यादा important है आपका GAP यानी कि गंगा एक्शन प्लान. So गंगा एक्शन प्लान जो है गंगा इज बेसिकली 2500 किलोमीटर स्ट्रेच. ठीक है? And this is the most holy river and the most worshipped river of India. And this stretch has been receiving for decades millions of gallons of untreated domestic sewage. ठीक है? तो ये इसमें बहुत सारा सीवेज बहुत सालों से ऐसे ही डंप होते गया बिना प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट के. And it was coming from multiple cities. ये इतना it ranges for 2500 kilometers. So you can see that what a long stretch it is covering. तो बहुत सारे cities के sewage waste dump होते गए. So the toxicity now of Ganga highly increased. All right. And there was also dump from the industrial waste and its effluents. So as a result, it started stinking and the water became very toxic. So the water is becoming unfit for drinking and cultivation. So Kanpur, Allahabad, Varanasi, Patna, Kolkata are identified to be the main centers for causing pollution of the rivers. तो ये जो cities है ये basically गंगा एक्शन प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग स्टेट किया कि सबसे मैक्सिमम पोल्यूशन ये cities से कॉज होता है. So, Government of India has launched this plan in 1985 itself, and the aim is to purify the water of River Ganga. All right. Due to the change of scope of river pollution control works, the Government of India renamed the program as National River Conservation Project instead of Ganga Action Plan. Now, not only Ganga, it has now spread in 165 towns and 17 different states. So it was a need that not only River Ganga but all the rivers across the states needed equal attention, and we need to we needed to take and step towards for the entire country. what all is causing, what all are the main pollutants for water pollution? You have your domestic sewage. सबसे पहले sewage is the major source of water pollution in large cities and in towns. So sewage क्या क्या constitute करता है? It mainly consists of your human and animal excreta and other waste material. This is very very toxic, and it is usually released into fresh water bodies or the sea directly. So as per the regulations, the sewage has to be passed through treatment plants. ठीक है, तो क्या इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया कि ये सीवेज वेस्ट को हम डायरेक्टली इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहे हैं वाटर बॉडी में, पहले हम इसे ट्रीट करेंगे ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स में ताकि उसकी टॉक्सिसिटी लेवल कम हो जाए, एंड देन वी विल रिलीज इट इनटू द वाटर कोर्सेस. ठीक है, फाइन. So only 0.1% of the impurities from domestic waste are making these water sources unit for human consumption. तो इनमें से only 0.1% of the impurities from the domestic sewage waste that these water sources unit is making for human consumption. So in the treatment of sewage, solids are very easy to remove. तो solids easily separate out हो जाते हैं, filtration से भी हो जाएंगे. So removal of salts such as nitrates, phosphates and nutrients and even toxic metal ions and organic compounds are difficult to remove. ठीक है? Domestic sewage primarily consists of biodegradable organic matter. ठीक है, सबसे ज़्यादा organic matter होता है इनमें, which will be directly decomposed by the action of bacteria and other microorganisms. ये biodegradable है, तो हम क्या करेंगे, अगर बैक्टीरिया से ट्रीट करें तो उसको हम डिकम्पोज कर सकते हैं. Now we need to know some terms. Out of them, one is your biological oxygen demand. तो ये एक बहुत important term है, and should know it clearly and try to understand it very clearly. It will be very helpful. So BOD is basically the measure of the content of biologically degradable substances that is present in your sewage. ठीक है, तो जितना भी आपका बायोलॉजिकली डिग्रेडेबल सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट है आपके सीवेज में, उसका जो कंटेंट है दैट इज योर बीओडी, उसका कंटेंट मेजर. सो द ऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस which are degradable are broken down by microorganisms, and ये क्या यूज करते हैं, ऑक्सीजन. ठीक है, सो बीओडी बेसिकली इंडेक्स बन जाता है. So now your BOD acts as a index. ठीक है, and it is used as a measure for pollution, especially for the load in the sewage. So the demand of oxygen is measured in terms of the oxygen consumed by microorganisms over a period of 5 days. So period क्या होती है, 5 days or 7 days. ठीक है, 5 to 7 days में what we observe, देखो बायोडिग्रेडेबल मैटर्स को कौन डिकम्पोज करेगा, माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म. तो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स क्या यूज करेंगे, ऑक्सीजन. तो अगर ज्यादा ऑक्सीजन यूज किया मतलब ज्यादा ऑर्गेनिक कंटेंट प्रोड्यूस्ड है वाटर में, एंड ज्यादा पोल्यूशन है. कम ऑक्सीजन यूज हुआ है मतलब माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ने कम यूज किया ऑक्सीजन डिग्रेड करने में, मतलब कम प्रोडक्ट होगा, इसलिए कम डिग्रेड हुआ. ठीक है, so microorganisms involved in biodegradation of organic matter in water bodies consume a lot of oxygen. As a result, what happens? There is a sharp decline in dissolved oxygen, causing death of fishes and other aquatic animals. तो जब लार्ज ऑर्गेनिक मैटर होती है तो क्या कहते हैं, ये जो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स है ये बहुत सारा ऑक्सीजन यूज करते हैं. क्यों? ताकि उनको डिग्रेड कर सके उस ऑर्गेनिक मैटर को. तो जब इतनी सारी ऑक्सीजन इसे डिग्रेड करने में चली जाएगी तो व्हाट विल बी लेफ्ट फॉर द फिशेस, देयर विल बी a sharp decline for the oxygen for the fishes and other marine animals. So now that is a very big problem. Now let us discuss about something called as algal blooms. तो इधर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि algal blooms जो है वो बहुत जल्दी ग्रो करती है एंड मल्टीप्लाई करती है. ठीक है, एंड it basically grows faster than our ability to remove them, and इसे इन्हें remove करना भी बहुत मुश्किल है. And they grow abundantly in eutrophic water bodies. That means that water bodies which are rich in nutrients, that means rich in your biological matter. and then they will lead to imbalance in dynamics of water bodies because they will alter the oxygen level. So excessive growth of aquatic plants such as water hyacinth in terror of Bengal भी कहा जाता है, is the world's most problematic aquatic weed. तो ये क्यों इतना प्रॉब्लमेटिक है, क्योंकि ये एक तो बहुत जल्दी ग्रो कर लेता है एंड इट इज कॉल्ड द टेरर ऑफ बंगाल because it will block the waterway and it will consume a lot amount of oxygen. So sewage arising from homes and hospitals may contain many pathogenic and undesirable microorganisms. That is another problem. तो ये सब in turn diseases भी cause कर सकते हैं like dysentery, typhoid, jaundice, cholera, etc. Untreated effluents, industrial effluents, are released into water bodies which pollute most of the rivers, freshwater, streams, etc. These are your industrial effluents. So, effluents contain a wide variety of both inorganic and organic pollutants such as oils, grease, plastic, metal waste, suspended solids, and toxins. ये सब आपके inorganic, ये सब आपके pollutants हैं. And most of them are non-degradable. Some harmful, many harmful substances like arsenic, cadmium, copper, chromium, mercury, zinc, nickel, they are the common heavy metals जो industry से directly discharge होती है and they cause a lot of pollution. Organic substances present in the water, what they do, they completely deplete the dissolved oxygen content in the water. मतलब ऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट है तो क्या होता है, अभी हमने पढ़ा कि क्या हो रहा है कि ऑक्सीजन कंटेंट जो है वो एकदम कम हो रही है. दैट मीन्स इट विल इंक्रीज द बीओडी, बायोलॉजिकल ऑक्सीजन डिमांड, एंड द सीओडी, दैट इज द केमिकल ऑक्सीजन डिमांड. ठीक है. How do they affect? So most inorganic substances make the water unfit for drinking. All right. Outbreaks such diseases, dysentery, typhoid, jaundice, cholera, are caused by sewage pollution. Now, come just a moment. Right? So now coming to another very important concept of biomagnification. ठीक है. Biomagnification क्या है? Biomagnification is basically the increase in the concentration of pollutant or toxicant at successive trophic levels in an aquatic food chain. ठीक है. जैसे ये मतलब क्या हो रहा है कि आपके अलग अलग ट्रॉफिक लेवल्स होते हैं. तो क्या होता है कि व्हाट दीज ट्रॉफिक लेवल्स आर इन डिपेंडेंट ऑन ईच अदर, लाइक देयर आर प्लांट्स, देन herbivores, some basically like there are many organisms in your seas. Now, that is eaten by zooplankton. Then a larger fish eats it, and then probably a whale or some other fish might eat it. तो अगर टॉक्सिसिटी सबसे लोअर लेवल पे प्रोड्यूस है तो क्या होता है कि ये टॉक्सिसिटी मैग्नीफाई होते जाती है. लेट अस सी हाउ. So this happens in instances where toxic substances gets accumulated by an organism and is not metabolized or excreted out and thus passes on the next higher trophic level. तो लोअर ट्रॉफिक लेवल में क्या होता है कि जो टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस है वो एक्यूमुलेट हो चुकी है. ठीक है. अब ये जो टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस है जो सबसे लोअर, ठीक है, तो ये है मेरा सबसे लोअर ट्रॉफिक लेवल. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे जो है ये कम्प्लीटली टॉक्सिक हो चुका है. नाउ अगर ये बाहर एलिमिनेट नहीं हो पाया तो क्या हो रहा है कि नाउ दिस इज कंज्यूम्ड बाय द नेक्स्ट लेवल. तो अब मेरे नेक्स्ट लेवल के पास भी वो सेम टॉक्सिक मटेरियल है प्रेजेंट. ठीक है. क्योंकि ये उससे एलिमिनेट ही नहीं हुआ है, मेरे नेक्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल ने इसको कंज्यूम किया हुआ. नाउ दिस इन टर्न विल बी कंज्यूम्ड बाय द नेक्स्ट हायर ट्रॉफिक लेवल. तो अब ये उसमें मैग्नीफाई हो चुका है. ठीक है. नाउ दिस इज एंटायरली टॉक्सिक एंड नाउ इट इज बेसिकली गेटिंग मैग्नीफाइड. The phenomenon is well known regarding your DTT and your mercury pollution. So now, as shown in the above example of the concentration of DDT is increased at successive trophic levels. So starting at a very low concentration of 0.003 ppb, ppb क्या होता है, parts per billion. ठीक है. which ultimately reaches an alarmingly high concentration of 5. तो क्या हो रहा है, जैसे लोएस्ट में कितना था, इतना 0.003 था, बट जैसे ही इसको नेक्स्ट लेवल कंज्यूम करते जा रही है, तो ये कितने में मैग्नीफाई हो गया, 5 पार्ट्स पर मिलियन. ऑलराइट, see the difference. Here it's parts per billion and now it is parts per million. So this is happening in fish eating birds through biomagnification. Now, higher concentrations thinning of eggshell and their premature breaking eventually causes the decline of the bird population. So another effect you have it. तो क्या होता है, हायर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन जब होती है, एग शेल्स जो है वो थिनिंग में होते हैं एंड देन प्रीमेच्योर यानी कि टाइम से पहले दे ब्रेक एंड इवेंचुअली दे विल cause a decline in the bird population. Now, let us discuss about eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Eutrophication is your natural aging of a lake by, by nutrient enrichment of its water. Fine. So, in a young lake, that means a newly formed or a fresh lake, the water is cold and clear and it supports a very little life. So, ग्रेजुअली अब क्या होते हैं, न्यूट्रिएंट्स सच एज नाइट्रेट्स, फॉस्फेट, ये सब जो है वो लेक एंड स्ट्रीम्स में एक टाइम के बाद बहुत सारे डिपोजिशंस आ जाते हैं. तो अब क्या होता है, ये encourage करते हैं कि aquatic algae या कोई भी अदर प्लांट्स यहाँ पे ग्रो हो. सो कॉन्सिक्वेंटली व्हाट हैपेंस दैट द एनिमल लाइफ प्रोलिफरेट्स, यानी कि एनिमल लाइफ वहाँ पे सस्टेन होना या ग्रो करना स्टार्ट कर देती है. इससे क्या होता है कि जो ऑर्गेनिक मैटर है, एनिमल लाइफ ग्रो होगी तो ऑर्गेनिक मैटर डेफिनेटली प्रोड्यूस होगा. सो नाउ दैट इज गेटिंग डिपॉजिटेड इन द बॉटम ऑफ द लेक. So now, over the centuries, what is happening? As the slit and the organic debris is piling up, the lake grows shallower and warmer. So as a result, what is happening? The aquatic organisms thriving in the cold environment are gradually replaced by warm water organisms. So, in the very beginning, what I said, कि ये जो lake streams है वो काफी cold होते हैं. So now, बहुत टाइम थोड़े टाइम बाद ये जो ऑर्गेनिक डेब्रिस है वो नीचे पाइल अप हो गया है, ठीक है. तो अब लेक क्या हो गया, अब लेक शैलो हो गया. सो नाउ व्हेन इट इज शैलो, इट इज इजी टू गेट हीट अप. तो अब जो है टेम्परेचर बढ़ जाती है, यानी कि लेक जो है वो वार्म हो जाती है. So as a result, what is happening? The aquatic organisms thriving in the cold environment are gradually replaced. तो पहले जब लेक कोल्ड था तो अलग स्पीशीज एग्जिस्ट करते थे, अब वो किस में रिप्लेस हो गए, जो स्पीशीज वार्म वाटर में एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. So marsh plants appear by taking roots in the shallow regions of the lake. Then, eventually, the lake gives away large masses of floating plants. Floating plants को box कहाँ जाता है, ठीक है. Floating plants keep getting deposited on the lake and finally they get converted to land. So now your whole lake is lost. So a bog is basically a wet, spongy, acidic ground composed of decayed vegetable matter. ठीक है, ये आपका exact definition है bog. Now, depending upon the climatic conditions, size of the lake and other factors, the natural aging of the lake may span for thousands of years. ठीक है. तो क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस के हिसाब से ये जो प्रोसेस है, इट कैन बी समवेयर अराउंड 100 टू इवन थाउजेंड्स ऑफ इयर्स. सो पोल्यूटेंट्स कहाँ कहाँ से आते हैं, ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी से डेफिनेटली. इट विल रेडिकली एक्सेलरेट द एजिंग प्रोसेस एंड दिस फिनोमेना इज नोन एज कल्चरल और एक्सेलरेटेड यूट्रोफिकेशन. जब भी ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी की वजह से ये फिनोमेना एक्सेलरेट हो जाती है तो हम इसे कल्चरल और एक्सेलरेटेड यूट्रोफिकेशन कहेंगे. During the past centuries, lakes in many parts of the earth have been severely eutrophied by sewage, agricultural and industrial waste. तो पिछले 100 years में हमने क्या देखा है कि in many parts of the earth we have been severely eutrophied. That means many aging of lakes have taken place. How? By sewage, agricultural and industrial waste. These are the prime contaminants. इसमें जो प्राइम कंटामिनेंट्स क्या होते हैं, नाइट्रेट्स एंड फॉस्फेट्स. दे विच आर द चीफ प्लांट न्यूट्रिएंट्स. तो ये सबसे चीफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स है जो उस वहाँ पे एक एक्वाटिक लाइफ या प्लांट लाइफ को सपोर्ट करें. The dissolved oxygen which is vital to other aquatic life is depleted. So similarly जैसे BOD में हुआ, तो अब जो है ये सारा जो प्लांट लाइफ स्टार्ट हो रहा है, तो अब क्या हो रहा है कि ये सारा जो ऑक्सीजन है वो लोग कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं. एंड नाउ जो एक्वेटिक लाइफ के लिए जो ऑक्सीजन है वो कम होता जा रहा है ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स की वजह से. So now at the same time other pollutants flowing into the lake may poison the whole population of fish whose decomposing remains further deplete and dissolves. तो अभी फिश तो इफेक्ट या कोई भी एक्वेटिक लाइफ तो इफेक्ट हो ही रही है एंड जो न्यू पोल्यूटेंट्स आ रहे हैं उनको ज्यादा पॉइजन करेंगे एंड दे विल लीड टू डेथ. एंड एक्वेटिक लाइफ की डेथ हुई तो क्या हो रहा है और ऑर्गेनिक मैटर जनरेट हो रहा है. So this is the entire process. Now coming to the next, that is soil pollution. So now सॉइल पोल्यूशन को लैंड पोल्यूशन भी कहा जाता है. सॉइल एंड लैंड सबसे ज्यादा क्यों यूज करते हैं? वी यूज इट फॉर ग्रोइंग क्रॉप्स, इरिगेशन. सो सॉइल एंड लैंड पोल्यूशन इज मेनली ड्यू टू सॉलिड वेस्ट. ठीक है, यहाँ पे जो है सॉलिड वेस्ट सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट करता है एंड एग्रोकेमिकल सच एज फर्टिलाइजर्स एंड पेस्टिसाइड. ठीक है, agrochemicals means those chemicals that are used in agriculture. Coming to solid waste. So any substance or material, articles, goods that is thrown out as a waste in a solid form. जो भी solid form में हमने environment में throw किया उसे हम solid waste कहेंगे. So your municipal solid waste are waste from your homes, offices, institutions, shops, hotels, restaurants, etc. ठीक है, तो ये सब आपके basic wastes हैं. So yes, this is how you can see intensely polluted the soil is and with what all things you have been polluting it. So the municipal solid waste generally is paper, your food waste, your plastic, glass, rubber, leather, textiles, waste from the hospitals, etc. So now these waste are burnt so that the volume of waste is reduced. But burning में अभी क्या होगा? Burning में again air will get affected. Alright, so this is a cycle. But generally, these wastes are not completely burned and left in open dumps, which often serve as breeding grounds for rats and flies. तो ये completely burn भी नहीं करते हैं and completely हम open भी इनको leave नहीं कर सकते. Why we cannot leave it completely open? Because then it will multiply the population of rats and flies. That is again dangerous to us. So, as the substitute for open burning dumps, sanitary landfills are adopted. So let us learn about it more. So what is a sanitary landfill? Sanitary landfill basically एक land है जिसे हम fill करते हैं waste के साथ. So now these waste are dumped in a depression or a trench after the compaction and they are covered with dirt every day. ठीक है, तो ये जो वेस्ट डेवलप होता है उसके ऊपर एक डर्ट या कोई भी सॉइल की लेयर को हम कवर करते हैं एवरी डे, ऐसे हम कवरिंग करते हैं. So now there is a danger of seepage of chemicals and pollutants from these landfills which may contaminate the underground natural resources. तो यहाँ पे हमें क्या डिसएडवांटेज है कि ये अगर कोई बहुत हार्मफुल केमिकल हो तो हमारे अंडरग्राउंड वाटर को इफेक्ट कर सकता है. सो the best solution to develop awareness in the society is on this is the best solution to develop awareness in the society on these environmental issues. Now, waste, what all waste do we generate? That is basically biodegradable, non-biodegradable and recyclable. Biodegradable मतलब जो decompose हो जाता हो, non-biodegradable मतलब प्लास्टिक जो decompose ना होता हो, recyclable में भी प्लास्टिक बोल सकते हो जो हम बार बार reuse कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, so it is important that all the garbage that is generated should be sorted out category wise. ठीक है, सबसे पहले इसका क्या होता है? सेग्रीगेट करना बहुत जरूरी है. is very important to segregate. That means it should be sorted out. ठीक है, the reusable और the recyclable, अब जो इतनी सारी वेस्ट है उसमें से हम जो reusable या recycle हो सकता है उसे हम सेपरेट करना चाहिए ताकि जो amount of waste या volume of waste को हम कम कर सकें. Rat pickers in the streets are doing a great job in the separation of these materials. Coming to your biodegradable materials, they should be put into deep pits. So abhi now you can see that in many places there is a separation of dry waste and wet waste. तो wet waste mostly वो होती है जो biodegradable होते हैं, यानी कि हम उन्हें ground में ऐसे dump कर सकते हैं या we can put it to a landfill. We can use it as a compost and it can be even left for natural breakdown. Now, द रिमेनिंग नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल, अब क्या रह गया, बायोडिग्रेडेबल हो गया एंड जो रिसाइक्लेबल है वो भी निकाल चुके। तो अब जो रिमेनिंग नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल है, दैट ऑल्सो हैज टू बी carried out or taken care of in a very specific way. So what is the prime goal? So prime goal is to reduce the amount of garbage. Okay? But we are increasing the use of non-biodegradable products. तो separate out easily क्या हो रहा है, recyclable and biodegradable. But सबसे ज़्यादा जो volume है वो non-biodegradable products की है. So we are packaging products for our daily use such as milk, water in polythene bags, जो अब ban हो चुका है, ठीक है? In cities and towns, and many purchase things are packed in polystyrene and plastic packets. So in cities like Mumbai, polythene is completely banned. The polystyrene and the plastic packets. All right. So now, thus, this basically is contributing heavily to the environmental pollution. So the state governments across the country are trying to educate people on the reduction in the use of plastic and the use of eco-friendly packaging. ये जो स्टेप है वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा लिया गया है, ठीक है? एंड वी कैन डू आवर बिट. So how do you do your bit? That means how can you contribute to this? Avoid using plastic carry bags, or try recycling them, and mostly use cloth or any other natural fibers like paper bags or something like that. Now coming to hospital waste. Hospital waste is again, we need to take care of it in a very good way, or else it will be a great burden to us. So these hospital waste generated are hazardous waste, that what all they contain, they will contain disinfectants, they'll contain contaminated blood, there will be chemicals that are heavily used, then there will be needles and much more. So such waste also require careful treatment and disposal. So this basically incineration, that means हम इसे directly जला देते हैं, because they are very infectious also in nature. ठीक है? So we do not want any disease to spread. So it is incineration process is preferred. Just a moment. Okay. Thank you, Kush. Thank you. सुना, जो ई वेस्ट होता है इनको भी, अभी हॉस्पिटल वेस्ट हो गए, अब ई वेस्ट में क्या क्या आता है? ई वेस्ट मतलब वी आर गोइंग टू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. ई वेस्ट क्या क्या, आपके कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट जो खराब हो चुके हैं, जो आप डस्टबिन में फेंक रहे हो, इट कैन बी योर ईयरफोन्स और एनीथिंग, और इररिपेयरेबल कंप्यूटर्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गुड्स, ऑल. So every day there is increasing e-waste also, ठीक है? And this is termed as your electronic waste, ठीक है? हाय भरत भाटी, हाउ आर यू? सो ई वेस्ट को हम कैसे बरी करते हैं? सो ई वेस्ट बेसिकली दैट डम्प्ड इनटू लैंडफिल्स और आर इंसिनरेटेड. इंसिनरेट मींस वी burn them. All right. Now, over half of the e-waste generated in the developed world are exported to developing countries. तो क्या करते हैं कि if like a very developed country, a very rich country is producing a lot of e-waste. So what it does, it exports its e-waste to some developing country like Pakistan or something like that. ठीक है? तो जिस एक्सपोर्ट टू डेवलपिंग कंट्री, तो वो क्या उनके पार्ट्स को रीयूज करते हैं. सो मेनली इट इज डेवलप ट्रांसपोर्टेड टू चाइना, इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान, where metals like copper, iron, silicon, nickel, and gold are recovered and they are used in the recycling processes. तो यहाँ से हम जो भी important metals या कोई भी जैसे हम part जो हम reuse कर सकते हैं वो हम करते हैं. So unlike developed countries which have specifically built facilities for recycling e-waste, तो जो बहुत ही developed countries है like US, they have a specific built facility for recycling this e-waste. So recycling in a developed country often involves manual participation and thus exposing workers to toxic substances. But this also has a drawback now. So eventually, recycling is the only solution for the treatment of e-waste. Please remember that recycling, ये word e-waste के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा important, ठीक है? Even for your objective point of view. Now, let us have a case study on how plastic is dealt with. So, a Bangalore-based plastic sack manufacturer named Ahmed Khan, he found an ideal solution to ever-increasing problem of accumulation of plastic waste. So, this person, he's in the field of producing plastic sacks for more than 20 years now. All right, so this is, and few years ago, he realized that the threat posed by the plastic waste as a remedy. So he was basically working for plastic sacks, okay, for more than 20 years. So now, after that, he realized that what the amount of threat plastic is causing. So as a remedy, what he did, he basically developed a fine powder of recycled plastic and named the mixture as polyblend. तो अब उन्होंने क्या किया कि ये पॉलीब्लेंड को बहुत ही फाइन पाउडर में क्रश किया एंड अब ये पॉली ब्लेंड को जब हम बिट्यूमेन, एक मेटल बिट्यूमेन के साथ मिक्स करेंगे तो इससे क्या हो सकता है, वी कैन यूज इट टू ले रोड्स. ठीक है, ये केस स्टडी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो नाउ in collaboration with RV College of Engineering, what is happening in Bengaluru? This person has proved that life of roads laid with polyblend and bitumen mixture is tripled. यानी कि this road serves as a better option. ठीक है. It is observed that polyblend enhance the bitumen's water repellent properties. ठीक है, तो प्लास्टिक जो है वो वाटर रिपेलेंट है, तो पॉट होल्स की प्रॉब्लम भी सॉल्व हो सकती है एंड इट हैज हेल्प टू इंक्रीज इन रोड लाइफ. फाइन. So now, the raw material for creating polyblend is basically your plastic film, what you need, and the cost of plastic waste given to rack pickers rose from 0.4 per kg to 6. तो अभी रैक पिकर्स के लिए प्लास्टिक कलेक्ट करने का प्राइस बढ़ गया. सो इन टर्न दे स्टार्टेड कलेक्टिंग मोर प्लास्टिक and they started recycling it more. So now this company will soon be running short of plastic waste in Bengaluru to produce polyblend. All right. So thanks to innovations like polyblend, that we could find at least a solution and we could have a better development of road as well. Now, in the wake of the green revolution, okay, that means the use of inorganic fertilizers, जो हम organic food कहते हैं, free from fertilizers, pesticides, have increased many times. And for enhancing crop production, these pesticides, herbicides, fungicides are being increasingly. So, what are agrochemical and their effects? So, agrochemical and their effects basically they are toxic to non-target organisms such as earthworm, nitrogen-fixing bacteria, etc. that are not very important components of the soil ecosystem. Now, moreover, what is happening that due to biomagnification, these chemical processes they pose a great threat to human life. And to indiscriminate the use of fertilizers, what will we need? We will need to increase drain of nutrients into the nearby aquatic systems, and this will cause eutrophication and consequent effects. ठीक है, तो इस फर्टिलाइजर से क्या होता है, बहुत सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स जो है वापस ड्रेन होते हैं एंड ये वापस से यूट्रोफिकेशन, बायोमैग्निफिकेशन एंड और कॉज करते हैं. Now let us see the case study of organic farming which has recently bloomed. ठीक है, इंटीग्रेटेड ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज अ जीरो वेस्ट प्रोसीजर. ठीक है, तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट तो आपको ये याद रखना है कि ये एक जीरो वेस्ट प्रोसीजर है where recycling of waste product is efficiently carried out. So now waste originated from one process are used as nutrients for the others. तो जो भी सीवेज वेस्ट है या जो भी हमारे पास बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट है, तो अब हम इसे एज अ न्यूट्रिएंट वी आर यूजिंग इट फॉर अनदर प्रोसेस दैट इज आर फार्मिंग. तो सारे वेस्ट अभी रिसाइकल हो चुके हैं. ठीक है, एंड दिस अलाउस मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज एंड इंक्रीजेस द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. So now a method practiced by Ramesh Chandra Dagar, a family from Sonipat in Haryana. So they are the example, they are the best example for this method used. So they integrated beekeeping, dairy management and water harvesting, composting and agriculture in चेन ऑफ प्रोसेसेस, ठीक है, इन्होंने एक चेन में कैरी आउट किया. सो ऑल दीज प्रोसेसेस दे फाउंड कि ये सब एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करते हैं एंड दे अलाउ एन एक्सट्रीमली इकोनॉमिकल एंड सस्टेनेबल वेंचर, ठीक है. सो क्रॉप वेस्ट एंड कैटल एक्सक्रीटा, जो भी उनको क्रॉप से जो भी वेस्ट मिलता था अलॉन्ग विद योर कैटल एक्सक्रीटा, दैट इज देयर dung, fecal matter that is used to create a compost. इससे उन्होंने क्या किया, कंपोस्ट बना दिया. अब इस कंपोस्ट को उन्होंने एज ए नेचुरल फर्टिलाइजर यूज किया. अब ये जो नेचुरल बायोगैस जनरेटेड है, ठीक है, तो नेचुरल बायोगैस कहाँ से आया, मीथेन या बेसिकली जो भी डंग होता है उन सब से आया, ठीक है. एंड दिस प्रोसेस कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर मीटिंग द नीड्स ऑफ द एनर्जी नीड्स ऑफ द फार्म. तो अभी जो भी नेचुरल बायोगैस प्रोड्यूस हुई वो सब क्या किया, उन्होंने एज ए एनर्जी यूज किया फॉर देयर फार्म. So now they are enthusiastic about spreading information and helping in practice of the integrated organic farming. So now Mr. Dagar has created the Haryana Kisan and the Welfare Club, where such type of processes are practiced. Now coming to another very deadly kind of waste and very important to deal with is your radioactive waste. So now, radioactive waste, they are initially nuclear energy was considered and a non-polluting way of generating electricity. ठीक है, तो पहले हमने इसे बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस दिया था बिकॉज एक नॉन पोल्यूटिंग वे है जिससे हम इजीली इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. बट लेटर ऑन वी रियलाइज दैट द यूज ऑफ न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी has two serious problems that has been caused. So the first is in case of any accidental leakages. The best example is your 3 Mile Island for the USA and the Chernobyl of the Russia, where we talked about. And the second is the safe disposal. ठीक है, एक तो बहुत एक्सीडेंटल प्रोन है, एक बार ये एक्सीडेंट कॉज हो गया तो जनरेशन तक इसकी इफेक्ट दिखती है. एंड अनदर इज इट शुड बी डिपॉजिटेड वेरी वेरी अ सेफ मैनर, ठीक है. So, radiation is the release from the nuclear waste that is extremely dangerous to biological organisms because it will induce mutations. तो अगर ये radiation environment में harmful way में release हो गया तो ये क्या lead करेगा? It will lead to mutations, and mutations will lead to genetic disorders, and we do not want that. It will basically affect the entire population. So exposure to high doses of nuclear radiation can lead to cancers and genetic disorders. Example, leukemia. ठीक है? Now, therefore, nuclear waste is an extremely potent pollutant and has to be dealt with utmost caution. That means with utmost precaution. And even the storage has to be done in a very shielded and in a very protective manner. And they are buried deep under the soil, very, very deep, about 500 meters deep. So even when this is done, the geological upheavals can bring them up someday and they can lead to radiation. So now coming to the greenhouse effect and the global warming, the last topic for today. Yes. In another 15 minutes, we will be done with the entire chapter. So now, the term greenhouse effect has been derived from a phenomena that occurs in the greenhouse. Let us see what is that. So greenhouse basically क्या है? Greenhouse is basically it is like a small house which is entirely made up of glass, and it is used for growing plants especially during winter. ठीक है, तो ये ग्लोबल वार्मिंग का एक डायग्राम है जो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर, सो इन अ ग्रीन हाउस व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, ग्लास से बना हुआ है, ठीक है, एंड दिस पैसेज अलाउज लाइट इनटू इट बट डज नॉट अलाउ दिस हीट. अब जो लाइट इसमें लाइट आ रहा है तो हीट भी उसके साथ आ ही रहा है, ठीक है, बट इट विल नॉट अलाउ द हीट टू एस्केप बैक टू बेसिकली एज इट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है कि हीट जो है वो एस्केप नहीं हो सकती. So now, similarly, the CO2 and other greenhouse gases are trapped in the earth in the similar way. तो ये एक greenhouse जो है वो basically बता रहा है कि अर्थ के साथ कैसा हो रहा है. So now, therefore, these greenhouse warms up. जैसे कि अर्थ warm up हो रहा है, ये greenhouse भी warm up हो रहा है. Very much like inside that of the car that has been parked in the sun for for a few hours. So when you get into a car which is parked under the sun for a few hours, you feel uh, that it is very warm. Uh, that is the best example for a greenhouse. And similarly, we are doing that to the earth also. So this greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring phenomena. ठीक है, ये जो है बहुत एक natural phenomenon है. And this effect is naturally occurring that is responsible for heating of the earth's surface and also your atmosphere. ठीक है. So, it would be surprising to know that without greenhouse effect, the average temperature of Earth would have been chilly of minus 18 degrees Celsius. But क्योंकि the Earth has this power of trapping heat, the average temperature of the Earth is 15 degree Celsius. Fine. Now, when sunlight reaches the outermost layer of the atmosphere, what happens that these cloud gases reflect. They जो भी लाइट आती है, एक पार्ट ऑफ लाइट तो ये रिफ्लेक्ट होती है. तो ये जो जा रहा है ना, ये एक पार्ट ऑफ लाइट रिफ्लेक्ट हो चुके हैं. दिस इज व्हाट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड. ठीक है ना. 1/4 पार्ट होती है ये एंड ऑफ द इनकमिंग सोलर रेडिएशन, एंड ये जो अंदर हो रही है, दिस इज द पार्ट दैट इज अब्सॉर्ब्ड. ठीक है. So now, almost half of the incoming solar radiation falls on the Earth's surface and reflects the heat in the form of infrared radiation. But a part of this does not escape. तो जो part escape नहीं होती वो absorb हो जाती है in your atmospheric layer. ठीक है, ये किससे बना हुआ है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, मीथेन. आपका एटमॉस्फेयर किससे बना हुआ है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड मीथेन. तो ये मेजर फ्रैक्शन absorb कर लेते. ठीक है. So these molecules of these gases radiate heat energy, and a major part of which will come back to the earth's surface, and thus they will heat it up once again. तो अब जो ये रिफ्लेक्ट हुआ वो वापस भी आएगा. ठीक है, वापस हीटिंग कॉज करेगा. So the above mentioned gases, that is CO2 and your methane, they are commonly known as your greenhouse gases. Very frequently asked questions, mention the names of the greenhouse gases. It is your CO2 along with your methane. Okay? Because they are responsible for the greenhouse effect. Now, increase in the level of greenhouse gases will also lead to the heating of the earth, and in turn they will lead to the cause of global warming. Global warming मतलब क्या? जब आपकी इट इज अ टाइप अ थ्रेट बेसिकली. जब क्या हो रहा है कि आपके जो अर्थ की टेम्परेचर है वो इंक्रीज होती जा रही है ना, अर्थ इज गेटिंग वार्मर. So during the past century, what is happening? The temperature of the earth has increased by 0.6 degrees Celsius. This may sound low, but this has caused a great threat, especially the melting of the snow caps. Now, most of it has happened in the last 3 decades. Okay? Now, scientists believe that this rise in temperature is leading to several changes in the environment. Melting of glaciers, okay? This ग्लोबल वार्मिंग इज कॉजिंग क्लाइमेटिक चेंज. एल नीनो इफेक्ट. ठीक है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये वर्ड आपको याद रखनी है. ठीक है, व्हाट इज इट? एंड दिस इज बेसिकली योर मेल्टिंग ऑफ द स्नो कैप, एंड इट इज आल्सो रिस्पांसिबल फॉर मेल्टिंग ऑफ द पोलर आइस कैप्स एंड अदर स्नो कैप्स ऑफ द माउंटेन सच एज हिमालय. एज इंडियन ये ग्लोबल वार्मिंग देखा गया, एंड वी नीड टू फाइंड अ सॉल्यूशन टू कर्ब इट. So other is thing is that this will in turn result in the sea levels. ठीक है, अब तो ये जो आइस मेल्ट हो रहा है वो क्या करेगा? सी लेवल्स इंक्रीज करेगा. तो देन यू विल अगेन बी वेरी मच प्रोन टू फ्लड्स, साइक्लोन, एंड द कोस्टल एरियाज में get submerged, and their human activity or all the life forms will be affected. So the total spectrum of changes that global warming can bring about is a subject that is still under active research. So the field of environment is still under very active research, and बहुत developing field है. So developing means that basically we need to find a way to balance it. So I would say that a lot of work is required. So global warming control measures, हम इनसे control कैसे करें? So measures is basically including the cut down of your fossil fuels. ठीक है, एक proper way में burn किया जाना चाहिए. Improving efficiency of energy usage, be it automobile, any factory, energy has to be used widely. Deforestation को avoid करना है, and we should promote afforestation. Slowing down of the growth of human population. So we need to keep a check on population also. More the population, more development will lead to more increase in the pollution, which will lead to global warming. So, coming to a very important protocol, that is Kyoto Protocol, which has been given with respect to global warming. So, this international initiative are also being taken to reduce the emission of the greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. तो ये क्यों क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल क्यों लिया गया है, ताकि जो एटमॉस्फेयर में ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस है उनको हम reduce कर सकें. And we need to save the earth from dangers of global warming. And it is an international conference that was held in Kyoto, Japan, and it was held in the year 1997. So, as in September 2011, 191 countries have signed and ratified this protocol. That means they have actively supported and signed up against, along with this, or accepted this protocol. As per this resolution, what we have achieved, that it is decided to achieve the goal of reducing greenhouse emissions into the atmosphere by the year 2008 to 12 to the levels of 1990. मतलब 2012 में ये गोल था कि हम 1990 के एनवायरनमेंट को achieve kar sake. So this is how your ozone depletion takes place. So you have your earth, then you have your troposphere, that is 0 to 10 kilometers, then you have your ozone layer, and then you have your stratosphere. So ozone जो होती है, they are formed in lower temperature, lower atmosphere, ठीक है, and troposphere, that is your troposphere, and it is known as the bad zone. That means which harms the plants and the chemicals. So ozone found in the upper part of the atmosphere is called the stratosphere, that is also known as the good zone. So troposphere yani bad zone and stratosphere yani the good zone. Now, why it's a good zone? Because it acts as an efficient shield for absorbing ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Stratosphere good क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि वो UV rays को absorb कर सकती है. So UV rays again are highly injurious to all living organisms. DNA and proteins of living organism preferentially absorb UV radiation, and its high energy breaks the chemical bonds. So because this UV rays के पास इतनी एनर्जी होती है कि वो हमारे DNA के chemical bonds को disrupt कर सकते हैं. So what it basically leads to mutation. So the thickness or columnar intensity of the ozone in a columnar air is measured in the terms of molecular oxygen and is unstable. All right. So now, what is happening? It is now it is getting degraded into molecular oxidation in the stratosphere. Now, there will be generally a balance between production and the degradation of the ozone. All right. So generally a balance maintained hona chahiye. So of late, what is happening? The balance has been disrupted. Why? Because of the enhancement of the ozone degradation by chlorofluorocarbons. ठीक है, ओजोन depletion के लिए कौन responsible है? They are the chlorofluorocarbons. CFCs कहाँ use होते हैं? Your refrigerators, your coolants, air conditioner, etc. basically works on the chlorofluorocarbons, and they are discharged into the lower strata of the atmosphere, and they keep moving upwards. ठीक है, इसीलिए वो harmful है. So in the atmosphere, the chloride atoms are released the action of the UV rays. So this Cl atoms, chloride atoms, they act as a catalyst and they start degrading the ozone molecules, and they release molecular oxygen. So as these chloride atoms are not consumed by this reaction, they keep on depleting the ozone molecules. Now that is a threat for us. So hence, whatever these chlorofluorocarbons are added to the stratosphere, they have a permanent and continuous effects on the level of ozone. ठीक है, तो ये continuously ozone को deplete करता रहता है. So the depletion of ozone is particularly marked over the Antarctica region. So this has resultantly, they have formed a large area of thin ozone layer, and they are commonly called as the ozone hole. तो जहाँ पे भी ये ओजोन होल बहुत थिन हो जाती है, सॉरी ओजोन लेयर बहुत थिन हो जाती है, तो क्या बनती है? दे कॉज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज ओजोन होल. तो नाउ यूवी रेडिएशन जो है, दे हैव अ शॉर्टर वेवलेंथ. ठीक है, एंड ये यूवी रेडिएशन बहुत इजीली ओजोन होल से पास कर जाती है. UV radiations with wavelength shorter than that of the UVB are almost completely absorbed by the Earth's surface. तो UVA, UVC सब बहुत easily Earth surface से absorb हो जाती है, and they provided that the ozone layer is intact. But UVB जो है ये DNA को डैमेज करती है, इसकी वेवलेंथ जो है वो ज़्यादा होती है, and this may induce mutation. सबसे harmful UVB होती है, and this may cause skin cancer, alright, and अगर ओजोन लेयर बहुत थिन हो तो क्या होता है, क्योंकि थिन प्रोटेक्टिंग है तो ये यूवी भी इजीली एंटर कर सकता है. सो इन इवन इन योर ह्यूमन आई योर कॉर्निया अब्सॉर्ब्स यूवीबी रेडिएशन, एंड अ हाई डोज ऑफ यूवीबी can cause the inflammation or the that means the degradation of cornea, and it will lead to a process of slow blindness or even formation of cataract. So such exposure may be permanently, they will damage your cornea. Fine. Now, coming to the last topic, that is your Montreal Protocol. What is it? So understanding these deleterious effect of this harmful effects of depletion of ozone, and international treaty called as Montreal Protocol was signed. Okay? And this where it was signed, it is Montreal, that is in Canada. It was done in 1987 and it became effective in 1989, 2 years after the protocol. What it was to basically to control the emission of pollutant substances that is responsible for ozone depletion. Montreal Protocol सिर्फ और सिर्फ ozone depletion पे focus किया, and subsequently many more effects have been made and protocols have been laid down to define roadmap separately for developed countries. तो बेसिकली उन्होंने क्लियर आइडिया प्रोजेक्ट किया कि डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज को कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट करना है. So it was very easy and very effective protocol, and they helped and they made effort to reduce the emission of your CFCs and other ozone depleting chemicals. Fine. So that's it for today. And let me just again quickly take you through what all you will get from Unacademy. So the new feature of iconic subscription, they will it will basically have a personal touch for you. You will have a personal mentor who will help you to strategize. You will have live doubt clearing solution. You will have a parent content where your progress will be discussed with your parent, and you will have all the benefits of Plus. What is Plus? Plus subscription is basically where you have daily live classes, which is very interactive. You'll have live test for self-evaluation, which is again very integral. You will have structured courses that are planned in line with your syllabus, and one subscription will get you unlimited access. We have live classes where you will be on board with the top educators of India. We offer you a very, very comprehensive syllabus. एंड आपको सिर्फ ये अनअकैडमी लर्निंग ऐप डाउनलोड करनी है और इसकी सब्सक्रिप्शन लेनी है. एंड अगर आपको हमसे डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट करना हो तो आप प्लीज़ डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स चेक करिए एंड वो लिंक को आप टेलीग्राम ऐप में जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट कीजिए. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्लस एंड आइकॉनिक? तो दोनों में आपको बेस्ट एजुकेटर्स ऑफ इंडिया पढ़ाएंगे. यू विल हैव इंटरेक्टिव लाइव क्लासेस जो बहुत बेनिफिशियल होती है टू क्रैक एनी एंट्रेंस एग्जाम. You will get access to all the live test quizzes, and you will have a creative corner. And you will in iconic subscription, what is the benefit you're getting? That you will have a personal mentor help you to strategize. They will create live doubts clearing sessions specially for you. You will have a parental connect where again they will help you strategize and discuss your problems and your progress, and you will have a study planner which will help you to crack the examination. So now coming to the free part, when you use my code Janani, your plus subscription is now just available in 13,500 rupees. Earlier it for 12 months. Okay? So आपको 10% का discount में. And coming to the iconics, इसका जो 12 month का price है, just 28,000 rupees. And when you use my code Janani, it will come down to 25,200 rupees. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please do drop your comments, your views, subscribe this channel, and please use my code Janani for your plus subscription, my name, alright, and hit the bell icon for more notifications. Thank you so much. I hope this was useful to all of you. Please share the link to more people. Thank you.